everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name's Chuck, and this will be a video on a new tool that I had purchased. It's right here behind me, and it's a Baldor 12-inch grinder, model 1217W. Scoot out of the way here for a second. That guy right there. Now, I'm playing with my new camera here too, so you'll have to excuse me here. I did take a lot of photos and some video. It was a little bit of an adventure on this grinder when I purchased it. My good buddy Flea Market Dave had found it on Facebook. It was a couple hours away. The guy wanted $500 for it, and when he found out I was driving that far, he dropped it to $400. And he had told me that the unit had issues, that it would start up, run, make noise, and then throw the breaker. I figured that it's pretty hard to damage one of these units, so I would take my chance and go get it. And it's a the unit was built around 2000. And I have to say it's just about showroom condition. It looked like it had never been used. So I'm going to try to put together a series of short clips in some movies. Ended up, again, my buddy Flea Market Dave found me a cast iron stand with another 12-inch grinder on it, which I went and purchased also. So we'll get into that also. I hope you enjoy the video, and once again, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Quickly, I'm going to attempt to talk over these frames. So here is the specifications for a unit that's over $3,000. If you read it, not much comes with it other than a grinder. When I got it home, of course, I had to weigh it just for the heck of it as I was unloading it. And it does weigh almost 258 pounds, what it says. I did plug the unit in, and it did have the problem. If you'll notice the cable to the right of the box, I ended up changing that. You'll see that later. But it did, I actually got the unit to smoke, which probably was not very smart. And here is the relay and capacitor, which I did not know anything about. As you can see, there's the capacitor, pretty well smoked. And so I ordered a new capacitor and a new relay. It was a total of $40. I have to shout out to Dean Crawford, RE Cave. He helped me with finding a source that made it very, very easy to order the couple of parts, put them in, and then he helped me as I wired it backwards also. There's a picture of the relay. So the unit is now up and running and ready to use, but I don't have a stand for it. And so we're going to move on to a purchase of a stand. So this is the unit that Flea Market Dave found for me. And I basically went to purchase it for the stand. It's $300, and the stones on the unit looked like I could actually salvage those. Here's the tag on the unit. Notice it says 440 volt. So I was really assuming that I was going to have to scrap the motor or see if I could sell it. So for the fun of it, I put it on Craigslist to sell it. And as you look at this video, notice the wires sticking out on the bottom there. Well, my good friend Gary Brown from Old Iron Machine, he looked at the tag. He goes, I've had those units. He goes, is it a 9-wire unit? If it's a 9-wire unit, you can run it low voltage. So I put it on Craigslist, and you can see where the stones were damaged when somebody had loaded this prior to me. But ended up selling the unit for $250. So I was into the stand for $50, which is cool. And here I had to weigh it just for the fun of it. And the next photo is a photo that shows the unit the grinder sitting on top of it. A Baldor stand came up for sale at $300, and I had to make a decision. The guy actually called me back at $200, and I said no, and I decided to stay with this Cincinnati stand. I really like it. Here's a couple of photos that before I started to clean it up. The cast iron pot, I do have it. You'll see in the end that I used a stainless steel pot that I had. But the unit, I do have the cast iron. I had to do a little bit of brazing on it to fix that shelf. Here is paint remover on it to start stripping it, and you can see that once I moved that tag, there was holes there, but just starting to scrape the paint off. I'll tell you, this was quite a mess. I made the mistake of finishing it with a paint remover disc, and I had stuff, I had everything all over the place. There you can see it there, the scraping the material off of that also. It was a lot of cleaning. Those two holes in the front were actually stock holes, the best that I can tell. I found other photos of other people's stands that had the same two holes in it. It must have been for some sort of electrical box, and then there's a hole in the back also that's threaded. So there I cleaned up the stand, and then I made a paper template, and I was going to fill those holes in so they're not there anymore. And you can see there's my little steel template I made. It fit in there nice and tight. I was going to braze it in, and I saw no reason to even attempt that, although it would have been fun, but it tapped in there just locked tight. So the next thing was go ahead and start finishing the stand. So there's a little bit of glazing putty started, and you can see the steps of the stand. And there's the finished stand all primed, ready for a final paint. I tried matching the paint. That was difficult. That was the first attempt. I think that was still the first attempt. And then this last photo, I think, is the final attempt, and as close as I could get to it. And here we are showing the wiring I ended up doing on the unit. The lighted shields are plugged in, so I took those and wired them directly into the unit so that when you hit the go button, the lights come on. And I relocated the main electrical into the unit from the side to the back so you can't even see it. So really happy with how everything turned out, and here's the unit running. You can see the stainless steel pot. Happened that I had a 220 outlet right there, so I could plug right in. I did have to do a little wiring up in the attic to get it hot, but it was already in the wall. And really happy with the unit. And as you'll see, I don't know if I showed it, but I did end up buying some other grinding wheels for it off of eBay for $70, 2 inches. Thanks for watching. Well, I thought I'd show you. I ended up picking up a couple of more wheels for the grinder, both one's coarse and fine, and they were a great buy off of eBay. And these are 2-inch wheels, where the wheels that are on the grinder now are 1-inch wheels. Did I really need these? No. Am I a goofball? Yeah. But I'm happy I bought them, and I'm going to clean them up and eventually put them on the grinder.